Hello and welcome to this video on how do I build a simple list report in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013. My name is Suvidha and I'm a partner consultant working at Microsoft specialized in Dynamics NAV reporting. At the end of this video, you would have learned to build a simple list report in Dynamics NAV 2013 using Developers Environment and Visual Studio 2010. Let us have a look at how the report is going to look like when executed. Here is a simple customer list report with the company logo and the company address in the report page header. There are few fields coming in from customer table in the body. At the end of every page, there is page number. The objective of this video is to understand how to define the data model in NAV Developers Environment. Then we will understand how we can design and build the layout of the report in Visual Studio. And finally, we will execute the report and also export the report into other file formats. We will build and test this report in 3 simple steps. First, we will define the whole data model of the report by adding the required data items and linking them. We will also define the global variables required and define them as columns in Report Designer. In the second step, we will design the layout of the report by adding the body, page header, and footer. We will of course add the required fields in all 3 sections of the report. At last, we will test this report by executing and also exporting the data to other file formats like Excel, Word, or PDF. Now, let's start with step 1. As specified before, in step 1, we will add the required data items, add the columns from these data items, link the data items, and also define the global variables required and add them as columns in the Report Designer. Hence, at the end of step 1, we will have all the data that is required to display on our report. In NAV 2013 Report Designer, I start by specifying 2 data items as customer and salesperson purchaser tables. I link these 2 data items by using the data item link properties on the salesperson purchaser data item line. I link these 2 data items on salesperson code. Also, I have selected all the columns that I need from the customer table and salesperson table. Next, to define the company address and the company logo in this data model, we need to define few global variables and use them. To do that, click on View and click on Globals. For this demo purpose, I am pasting the required global variables. Here we have the company info record variable loaded with the company information. Next, we have the format ADDR pointing to format address code unit. Thirdly, we have the company ADDR which is of type text, and it is an array with 8 dimensions. We will require 3 lines of code on the customer pre-data item trigger to get the required fields from the company information table into this report. So pasting these 3 lines here on the pre-data item trigger. Here in the first line, we are initializing the company information record variable. In the second line, we are using calc fields on the company information picture field as the picture field is of data type blob. To format the company address, let's make use of the company function in the format address code unit. This company function expects text array and company record as parameters and fills the text array with the formatted address. Next, let's add the text array variables and the picture field in the Report Designer as columns. We have successfully completed step 1 by defining the required data in NAV Developers Environment, such as customer details, company logo as well as the company address. Now let's save this report and see how the report looks like when executed. As you can see, there is no data available on this report to view. This is because we need to design the layout of the report in Visual Studio. However, we can still see all the data that is in this report to be viewed by going to Help and About this report. Let's go to step 2, where we will build the layout of the report, which includes designing the body as well as the header and the footer of the report. In the Report Designer, click on View and Layout to design the layout. This opens Microsoft Visual Studio Layout Designer to design the layout of the report. As you can see, blank body of the report is available by default. Right-click outside of the body to add page header and page footer. Next, let's add the data into the body section. In the body, we need to display the customer list. For that, I choose Table Control from the toolbox and I drag and drop the table control into the body section. Since my report contains 6 columns to display, I can add more columns by choosing the Insert Column option. Next, let's populate this table with customer data. I click on this blue box inside of the text box, which contains the data set of the report. Choose the fields you would like to display, like customer number, name, city. I choose salesperson name, and at last I select balance LCY and credit limit LCY. So the first row here is nothing but the header of this table. So you can choose to highlight this header like in Excel or Word by choosing the bold option or by choosing any other options you like. Also, all the decimal fields in the report needs formatting. The data set will contain the format automatically for all the decimal fields. For example, balance LCY has another field called balance LCY format, and credit limit LCY has another field for formatting. So we need to make use of these format fields so that all the decimal fields have the same format. To do that, right-click on this text box and go to text box properties. Here under number, we can use the custom category to define the format. Under fields, you can choose the format that this text box needs to use. For example, balance LC5 format for balance. And similarly, right-click on credit limit LCY, go to text box properties. Under number, choose custom category and use the function to define the format, fields and credit limit LCY format. Now both the fields are formatted in a similar way. Next, let us design the logo, or let us print the logo in the page header. For that, I can make use of the image control from the toolbox. I drag and drop the image control into the page header of the report. Once I do that, Image Properties dialog box is open. Here, under Select the image source, we need to choose option Database since our logo is coming from NAV. Under Fields, we can choose the logo field that we are trying to pass to Visual Studio. And for MIME type, we need to select image/BMP because we are storing the images in .bmp format in our database. Now click on OK and our image is now available on this report, and you can resize it to whatever size you need on the page header. Now, to display the company address in this report, let's make use of text box control from the toolbox. Let's drag and drop a text box control into the page header, right click and go to expressions. Here we need to define the data that this text box needs to display. So under data sets, you can see all the columns coming from NAV. We can choose company ADDR1 to company ADDR6 to display in this text box. So I will just paste the required expression in this text box and click OK. Now we have the whole company address filled in this text box, and let's resize this control so that the whole address fits in correctly. Now that we have designed the page header as well as the body of this report, finally let's add a page number at the bottom and complete the layout design. To do that, let's use a text box control and drop it into the page footer of this report. Right click on this text box and click on expression. Here you can make use of built-in fields. To display the page number, you can choose the page number function and click on OK. Now we have successfully completed the layout design of this report. Let's save the layout and exit Visual Studio. In NAV Report Designer, there is a dialog which asks whether we need to load this layout changes or not. So I click on yes and save the report in NAV. Now that we have completed step 1 and step 2, let's go to the last step where we will test this report and also export the report to Excel, Word or PDF. To test this report, let's choose the report that we just designed and click on Run. Select the Preview button on the request page to view the report. As you can see, the report is now visible with company logo and company address in the page header and all the customer detail in the body. To view this in print layout, let's click on the option Print Layout. So this is the print layout of the report, and when I scroll down, you can see that there is a page number at the bottom. When I go to the next page, you can see that the page number has been updated. We can also choose to export this report into other file formats like Excel, PDF or Word by just clicking on any of these options. You just saw the whole demo video of how easy it is to create a simple list report in NAV 2013. To summarize, in step 1, we define the data model of the report by adding the required data items, linking them, and also by defining the required global variables. In step 2, we built the whole layout of the report by designing the body, page header, and footer of the report. In step 3, we ran the report and also we saw how we can export the report into Excel, Word, or PDF. So this is how easy it is to design a simple list report in NAV 2013. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in another How Do I episode for Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013. Thank you.